Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Taylor. I'm the director of the King County Department of Local Services, and we are the enforcers of the new fireworks ban. We're just going to be giving you a bit of an overview of the law that's going into effect this year. And I want to start off by just saying, this will be the first time that fireworks are not allowed in unincorporated King County. And it became clear that it's necessary after we had loss of life about 3 years ago on a 4th of July. And in the wake of that, Councilmember McDermott, who's joining us here today, sponsored this legislation. I want to introduce him and have him talk a little bit about that. We're also joined by Councilmember Zahalai, in whose district you are, Chief Hicks, who's the fire chief here in Skyway, and also the head of the Association of Fire Districts. Did I get that right?
Fire Chiefs Association.
Fire Chiefs Association, apologies. And also our King County Fire Marshal. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Councilmember McDermott.
Thank you, John. Thank you for being here today. 4th of July is our Independence Day is a great day for celebrations with families and communities. And whether you are looking for hot dogs or hamburgers that day, we have a tradition of gathering, celebrating parades, and marking our independence. But unfortunately, 3 years ago, it wasn't so festive in White Center. Sonny Kennedy, a 70-year-old veteran, died as a result of a house fire in White Center started by fireworks. There are many reasons to discuss banning fireworks, from wildfires to accidental injuries, but it was Mr. Kennedy's death that led me to introduce this legislation. The majority of jurisdictions in King County already ban fireworks, the sale and discharge of commercial fireworks. It was high time that King County provide the same levels of public safety for residents in unincorporated King County as well. So I was proud to introduce and pass the legislation with the support of my colleagues, such as Councilmember Girmay Zahalai and Claudia Balducci, both strong champions of this legislation, recognizing that we have an obligation to provide the same protection for unincorporated King County that cities across the county already provide. This year will be the first year that the sale and discharge of commercial fireworks are banned in unincorporated King County. And that's why we're launching this education campaign, to make sure that people know about the new law and know that not only can they not buy fireworks in unincorporated King County as they have before, but that it is not legal to discharge them. And this year will be focused on public education. Though the ban is in effect, it will be focused on education and less enforcement. That's a better way to affect this public policy and make sure that we're not having unintended and bad consequences. And so I'm really proud to be part of this conversation today, the work over the last 2 years, and look forward to celebrating Independence Day this year, feeling like King County is taking steps to provide more public safety for our residents in unincorporated King County than we have before. I thank you for joining us today and look forward to Councilmember Zahalai's remarks and more conversation with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those remarks, Councilmember McDermott, and thank you for championing this legislation. I'll repeat what Councilmember McDermott said. For the first time this year, this 4th of July, fireworks will be banned in unincorporated King County. The use, the purchase, the sale of consumer fireworks will no longer be allowed in unincorporated King County. And I think this is an important step toward public safety in unincorporated areas. I will say that initially, Councilmember McDermott probably remembers this, I was opposed to the legislation. I personally felt, and I also heard concerns from constituents around how this will be enforced, over policing in certain communities, how the fines and fees will impact low-income communities, how the inability to sell fireworks will impact nonprofits. I heard those concerns, and so I had pause with the legislation. But then I spoke to more people, and I spoke to our fire chief, Chief Hicks, who told me that our fire departments prepare for the 4th of July as if they were preparing for an extreme natural disaster. That's how they prepare for the 4th of July. People's homes burned down, people blow off their limbs, there are fatalities. And so this is a clear example of competing public interests. All those things that I said before are valid. The worry around enforcement, the worry around fines and fees, the worry of loss of revenue for nonprofits, those are all valid concerns. But how do you weigh that against the toll on public safety, especially in this era of our climate changing and our environment becoming drier and more susceptible to wildfires? We need to be as careful as possible around fireworks. And so I am now fully supportive of the legislation, and we did make some tweaks to make sure that those other concerns are addressed. And so I'll repeat it again. Fireworks are no longer allowed in unincorporated King County, and I'm excited to work with our colleagues here to make sure that we have a robust public education campaign so that we can enjoy a safe, quiet, healthy 4th of July this year. Thank you so much.
It's so great to have naturals like Councilmember Zahalai and McDermott up here because I have notes. So this is what I'm going to go off of. So good morning, everyone. My name is Eric Hicks. I'm the fire chief for King County Fire District 20 here in Skyway. I'm also the president of the King County Fire Chiefs Association. There are many people that deserve thanks here today. First, I want to thank the community for their grassroots efforts for bringing this issue forward. This has been kind of a plague amongst our communities for years, from our veterans to our pets. So I'm glad the community brought this forward in a grassroots effort. King County Councilmember McDermott and King County Chair Balducci.
Happens to the best of us.
King County Chair Balducci for sponsoring the fireworks ordinance. Councilmember Zahalai and King County Executive Dal Constantine for their support. Members of the media, we appreciate you being here today. You play an important role in connecting with our communities. Today is an opportunity to remind everyone that fireworks are banned in unincorporated King County. Every year during the summer months, we experience hotter, drier conditions. Due to injuries, property loss, and the dangers they pose, it was important to put this fireworks ban in play. The 4th of July has historically been one of the busiest days of the year for King County fire departments. The number of fires we respond to is over 4 times the amount on normal summer days. Additionally, there is a substantial increase in medical calls all related to fireworks. We are hopeful that the new fireworks regulations will reduce the number of emergencies we respond to. That being said, we are ready. We are coordinating a regional incident action plan and increasing staffing in many areas. As we approach the 4th, we will be watching the weather, assessing the fire danger, and modifying our response plans accordingly. We encourage everyone to enjoy the 4th of July by attending a professional fireworks display. For your safety, do us a favor and please leave the fireworks to the professionals. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Great, thanks very much. Just want to acknowledge we have South King Fire District here with us today. We have Renton Regional Fire District here with us today. Seattle Fire Department has their public information officer, and the King County Office of Emergency Management. Also want to just say again, the reason we're here today to talk to you is to get the word out that fireworks are now illegal. Recreational fireworks are now illegal in unincorporated King County. I also want to add that in this first year, we will not be issuing citations to people. We'll be issuing warning letters and trying to educate them about the new law. And we've worked really closely with the council on coming up with an approach that will get the word out there as broadly as we possibly can without turning this into a law enforcement issue. We want to make this an educational issue and something that makes the community aware without penalizing people who may be ignorant about the new law. Next year, next 4th of July, we will be fully going into effect with issuing citations. I have Chris Ricketts again, who's the fire marshal for unincorporated King County here, and we're happy to answer any questions you all may have.
I kind of meant like their concerns about, that income that maybe they were dependent on.
I think Councilmember Zahalai alluded to that well. This is a balancing of public interests, and I think the council and the executive have made the determination that the public safety is more important than those businesses that we're currently operating. They typically operate very brief periods of time during the summer, so I would hazard a guess it's not their only income.
John?
Yeah, by all means.
It's also worth noting that this isn't recent legislation by the County Council. We adopted this over a year ago because the legislature requires a 1-year waiting period before a local ban can come into effect. So people affected by, who have previously been selling fireworks have had over a year to be aware of the fact that no permits would be issued this year and to make new plans for their fundraising and support activities.
So that's a pretty large area.
Representing Council District 8 includes Vashon, Maury Island, and White Center, North Highline as unincorporated areas where we are the local government. And I've heard every year from people in both of those communities, but particularly from people in North Highline, in the White Center neighborhood, that veterans who have PTSD from their service live in fear that day. Pet owners are concerned about their pets and will stay home to comfort scared animals for the day. People will be with hoses, keeping their lawns and the roofs wet to protect from fireworks. That it has really felt like a bombardment in some immediate neighborhoods in White Center. I've had in early July, I've had a constituent bring me a grocery bag full of debris that she picked up from her yard. And she and her family had set off no fireworks. They were all aerial fireworks that had fallen into her yard from people discharging them in the community. So those are the kinds of experiences I've heard from constituents and know have impacted people in unincorporated King County.
You mentioned that you're not going to be issuing citations this year, just warning. But how long, looking at other places that have enacted bans like this, how long do you think this will take? How many years before we start to see significant compliance? Because whether you enact a ban or not, people are still going to do that.
I personally reside in the city of Seattle, and while I don't hear anything and experience anything like what my constituents tell me they experience in White Center, I certainly hear fireworks in my neighborhood. I don't expect there to be zero fireworks in any community that bans them. But the public education campaign we're rolling out today is the first step in making sure people are aware and we start making that switch and have a new understanding in our communities.
I would add that there's also an element of consistency here. When you have an urban pockets like Skyway or White Center that have different rules than their neighboring cities, that can cause a funneling effect where people are coming to these urban pockets to light off their fireworks. And so if we're saying, no, this whole region has a ban now, hopefully that will reduce the effects of people coming into these neighborhoods in concentrated urban areas to blow off fireworks because they believe it's legal. Now we can say it's illegal in Seattle, it's illegal in Skyway, it's illegal in White Center, it's illegal in Renton. Hopefully that can flatten the effect a little bit.
Other questions?
Is this just aerial fireworks, or when you're talking about?
This is all consumer fireworks except for sort of novelty fireworks like party poppers, very minor fireworks, so it's anything. Other questions? All right, hearing none, thank you everyone. Really appreciate everyone being here. If you want to do one-on-ones with folks, council members and Chief Hicks and Chris are available to answer questions. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.